Now, Harry and William, there's been a bit of speculation. Will they patch things up? Will they not? Of course, after years of tension between the royal brothers, a rare public remark from Prince William has sparked fresh signs that he might finally be open to a truce with Harry, but under strict conditions. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
That's right. He gave an interview to a journalist in the environmental sphere, and he was talking about how things were going to be different going forward. And he said, we don't want to go back to the way things worked when Harry and I were younger. Now, the fact he name-checked Harry in that interview is massive. We cannot underestimate that William, who has basically operated from a position of extreme loathing towards his brother since he released Spare, where of course there was the anecdote about them having this private scuffle and the dog bowl being broken and all that sort of detail that William would have hated. To have mentioned Harry's name and to not only mention his name, but to suggest that the way things were done in the past was hard for him. I don't know what he's referring to. It could be things like having to walk behind their mother's coffin when Harry was only 12. I wonder to what extent William, having a son the same age as Harry is now, it was 12 when he lost his mother, whether that has led William to a place of greater reconciliation. And we know that Kate and the King are pushing for William, who is the hard guy, to actually soften towards his brother. We know the King has met with Harry. I think there's every chance that this signals a softening in William.
Wow, that's significant.
Which will be huge.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the photo we want,
right
isn't
now,
it?
But yes, it would be a huge moment indeed. Now, there's a bit of talk that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are planning a trip to Australia. These are the reports according to a comment they made in a leaked letter to a celebrity friend. Of course, that must be a Meghan Markle thing indeed. What can you tell us about this?
That's right. They met with this astrologer in New York called Angela Pearl. They're apparently fans of each other. There's a photo up on the Instagram page of Angela Pearl, and she's also received a letter from them subsequent to that meeting in October where they've said she's a Ukrainian woman but now lives in Australia, saying, best wishes to your family in Ukraine, and we hope to visit you in Australia soon. Huge news, of course, because they spent their time, Meghan announced her pregnancy in Australia, and we would love them to come down here, wouldn't we? It would just be such an interesting occasion. But of course, remember when Meghan did come to Australia, that was the moment she went, what, this is royal work? Lots of biographies and things have looked at the fact that she questioned whether she should have been paid for the work that she was doing. She also saw a lot of it is pointless, according to Tina Brown, the biographer. So I think, while we'd love to see them down here, it'd be great for stories and for our sort of work. Yeah. And, maybe they want to bring the kids and introduce them to some koalas and things like that. They're still very, Harry particularly is very, very fond of Australia, having spent time here. So it's very possible.
Okay, we'll watch this space indeed. Now, finally, let's just talk about Disney. Away from the royal news to some entertainment news. It seems that Disney is finally ditching DEI. Disney didn't mention diversity in its annual report for the first time since 2019. Angela's Disney finally waking up, finally getting the message. You go woke, go broke.
Well, Disney has been that woke company, hasn't it? And if you think about Snow White and the trouncing that got by the critics, I just will never forget the Times wrote that Disney had trashed its crown jewel, that it was a sanctimonious remake. There's some criticism at the moment around a remake of Moana, which is just seeping through today. It's a CGI enhanced remake, and everybody loved that original Moana from 10 years ago. It was just, perfect Disney in its space. But interesting that they're obviously looking at the optics on the company and also the way the company works, and probably also, Trump has said he doesn't want DEI within companies. Look, the fact there's no mentions at all, does this signal a complete reversal, or are they just trying to actually subtly get a better public image, because they need to do something. It is, this is a major brand that people think, has lost the plot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. Plenty of other companies are rolling back DEI policies, after it's been proven that it doesn't really work. But Disney in particular has just been so woke, especially with that Snow White remake. My goodness. Angela Mollard, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.